Hi guys. Okay, so today's video is gonna walk you through, I've taken some notes on steps that you can take to keep your Turo business alive in this climate that we're in. So I try to get down everything that I possibly could, and these are also things that I am doing personally myself that I'm gonna walk you through it. But before you can really jump into these things, I think it's most important to get your mindset right. I think that this is really a hard time for a lot of people in many ways. A lot of people are working from home. Most people are not used to working from home, and to really work from home and be really good at it, you have to have such a level of discipline because there's nobody there to hold you accountable at all. It's like going to college. It's up to you. If you show up, you show up. If you don't show up, I mean, it's on you if you're going to pass the class or not. That was actually the one thing that I learned from college, was that discipline of having work ethic. So going into this, you just have to know that when you come out of it, what do you want your outcome to be? So my mindset going into this is, okay, it's a situation that nobody could anticipate. You couldn't really prepare for this in probably the ways that you would have liked to have. But at the end of all of this, no matter how it pans out, how long it takes, or how short it is that this all ends in, the only thing that I want to come out with at the end of this is to know that I did everything that I possibly could have done, and I exhausted all efforts to make it work. And whatever that outcome ends up being, then I'm fine with it, knowing that I did what I could do and there was literally nothing else left to do. So that's my mindset, and I think that's a really important mindset to have, because oftentimes what happens is something will pass and you come out on the other end of it and you have that sense of like, oh man, I wish I did this, or I could have done that, I could have made that effort. Oh, I thought about doing that, but I didn't do it. So really just going into this with the right mindset is, I think, already a huge win, and that'll set you on the path that you need to be on in order to get everything else done. So truly, the way that I think about it is, let's just say worst case scenario, which I don't think is going to be the case. I lose my business, I lose my cars, this all goes really, really south. I'll be okay because I know that I did everything that I could have, and that there was literally, I exhausted all efforts and there was nothing else that I can do. And that's it. And then you just rebuild from there. So that's how I look at it. But I really don't think that it's going to be that extreme. And hopefully within the next 1 to 2 months, we come out of this and we come out of it even stronger. We go into a busy season out of the year, summer. People are motivated to be out there after being cooped up for a couple months and just being sort of in this state of just doom and gloom, and we really see a strong outcome from all of this, which if that's the case, which I think it's going to be, I'll be really happy with that. Okay, so that's mindset. So now I kind of listed everything out in steps. I think I have about 8 steps that I think that as Turo hosts we can take to really help save ourselves from the situation that we're in, or at least come out with the best outcome. So step number 1, let's pay attention to our listings. If you haven't done so already, now more than ever, you need to spruce up your listings. First and foremost, it's your photos. This is how people buy. It's the very first thing that they see when they search on any marketplace. I mean, think about it for yourself. When you shop for hotels or vacation packages, you look at photos. That is how we buy in this day and age. It's the first 3 to 5 photos that people are looking at. So you want to make sure at the bare minimum that you have great photos. Second to that, you want to take photos that really emphasize cleanliness. And I think I posted about this a couple weeks ago. I adjusted all of my photos. I edited them so that they have text on them that say detailed and sanitized, because I want people to know from the get-go, from that first point of contact where they see an image of my car, that hey, in the space that we're in, I know that this person went out of their way to tell me that it is sanitized and detailed. There's another host on the platform who contributes a lot to the community. He took photos with cans of, actually I have a can right here, disinfectant or Lysol next to his cars, showing people, dropping that seed in your minds that, hey, this car is clean, and that you can rest assured you're going to be safe in that. So photos, if you haven't done it already, I can't say it enough. have good photos. And then 2, your description. Everyone should have changed their description by now. If you haven't done so, you really should. And it's to acknowledge what is going on. You want to emphasize safety and cleanliness, that you as a host, you recognize what's going on, and that people can rest assured that when they rent your car, that it is going to be clean, and that they don't have to worry about other people being in the car, and that you're taking precautionary measures. So I would highly recommend, if you go down into my description, look at the link to my Turo profile, and if you need to copy and paste my description, go right ahead. I really don't care. But you want to make sure that you are emphasizing in your descriptions that you are a host that is thoughtful and that you understand what's going on, and based on that, you are adding value to the renter who might rent your car, and that they can have a peace of mind that the vehicle is clean. So adjust your photos and your descriptions. That's number 1. Number 2, I have pricing and availability. This actually really surprised me big time. Between yesterday and the last couple of days, I've been doing searches on the platform. I would say that 70% of the listings on the platform have not adjusted their listings, and they have not adjusted their pricing in this climate, which I find to be very interesting, but also I guess it kind of makes sense, because that tells me that about 20 to 30% of the listings on the platform, those are sort of the real players in the market. Those are the people who are being vigilant, they are taking action, and they're being dynamic, and they're pivoting in a situation that needs pivoting. You must remain dynamic and adjust as we go and as the situation develops. So those 70% of the people that I saw, 70 to 75 actually, yeah, I'm not worried about them, because obviously they're not in tune with what's going on, and they're not adjusting their listings. For me personally, in terms of availability, I am starting to extend my availability. I'm doing it slowly, so I'm expanding the hours that I am available. And I will eventually probably move over to 24/7. I used to have that for many, many years, and it was fine. You don't generally get very odd bookings with odd timings, except every so often. But now that I have Turo Go on most of my cars, it makes it even easier to do that. Going back to pricing, you literally should be at the floor of your pricing right now, because that is what the market calls for. And I will explain that in another one of my points as well. But you should be at the lowest pricing. And I'll give you an example. If you have a car where on the weekends or peak times is priced at $120, then midweek, if you're trying to capture midweek rentals, you have it priced at about $70. That very car should be now priced at around $40. You want to at least try to capture your cost of doing business, your cost of having that vehicle. And obviously that's if you have that cost, which most of us do. Yes, that is what the market really requires. It requires for that low end pricing right now. We're really trying to appeal to a very specific type of audience. Obviously, it's not travelers, it's not people coming into town for business, it's your local community. And if they need a car right now, it's because they really need a car. And so you want to do them a service by helping them out as well. And then I'm going to touch upon this one more time a little bit later. Another thing that you can do with your listing description along with your pricing is offer a 2 to 3 week discount. So if somebody is booking for 2 weeks or 3 weeks, so 14 to 21 days, offer a specific discount and put that in your listing. Now, the reason why that might be helpful is because if we continue to see these sort of in-home quarantines like we're seeing in San Francisco, people are likely going to be quarantined between 2 to 3 weeks. That's what the timeline looks right now. So when somebody sees that, and if they're out of a car or their car's stuck in a shop or for whatever reason, people are still going to need to go to the grocery store, maybe go to the doctors or whatever it might be. They're going to want to have access to a car. And on top of that, if they are renting for 2 to 3 weeks, they're likely quarantined. Hopefully they're working from home. So many people right now are out of jobs. So that in combination with that low pricing and putting sort of that time frame in people's minds, it's going to help someone else out. And as we all know in this climate, people are not going to be driving much. So you don't need to really be worried about wear and tear on your car or a buildup of mileage, because it's highly unlikely that that's what's going on out there. Okay, and you might want to take notes on this because it's quite a bit of information, and hopefully I have it organized enough for you guys to take it in. But taking notes, I myself had to take notes for myself that now I'm going to present to you guys. Number 3, contactless check-in and check-out. People are really starting to identify with this word contactless. So this is also like, these seeds have already been planted in people's minds by other companies, and we sort of want to jump on that bandwagon. DoorDash, Grubhub, Uber Eats, they're all emphasizing contactless deliveries, right? And so many other companies as well, where people don't have to worry about interacting with other human beings, so they feel safe and secure and still using these services, knowing that they don't have to worry about the transference of germs or anything like that. They don't have to shake anyone's hand. So you want to emphasize that you can either do a virtual check-in and check out if you don't have Turo Go on some of your cars, or if you've already had the Turo Go system installed, then you have Turo Go, which mitigates that interaction between you and a guest. And right now, that is the experience that people are looking for. I know, contrary to what I normally say, where that face-to-face meet and greet is so important, this is the complete opposite. That's the experience that people want. People don't want to interact. They don't want to meet anyone. They don't want to shake anyone's hand. So you want to really emphasize that contactless check-in and check-out, or virtual check-in and check-out. Now, a lot of people have asked me about doing virtual check-ins and check-outs. If you don't have Turo Go, the best way to manage that, the only thing you would need for that is access to being able to lock and unlock your car. So hopefully many of you have that, and if you haven't, you might want to figure out a way to do that. But majority of my cars already come with that built in. And that's also a feature through Turo Go as well. So basically you want to have your car locked and parked wherever the guest can pick it up. When the guest arrives on scene, when I've done this in the past, I've had them send me a text message of a selfie with them standing near the car, a photo of themselves holding their license, so that you can ensure they are the person, they're there at the car, they're not sending you that image from some remote location. And then at that point, once you verify their identity, you can go ahead and unlock the car for them. So that's a simple way to do a virtual check-in and check-out. Okay, so that was number 3, contactless check-in and check-out. Number 4, and perhaps the most important point that I'm going to talk about in this video, is going to be sales. Whether you're a salesperson or not, it's really that time to be in that sales mode, that hustle mode that so many people love to talk about when it's easy and it's an easy climate to get sales in, or it's the weekend or the summer. This is the real meaning of hustle, is when things are in this type of state. This is where you have to roll up your sleeves and really put in the hard work and do the things that you don't want to do. What I'm about to say, nobody really wants to do this. I myself don't really want to do it. But this is the hard thing. And when it's the hard thing to do, that's how you know it's the right thing to do, because it takes effort, it takes time, and it's a pain. But this could be the one thing that could potentially save, or at least help you minimize the negative of what could occur over the next couple of months, okay? So you really want to go into sales mode. And what I mean by that is, if you've been on Turo for a while, you have a book of clients, okay? And the way that I like to access my book of clients, for me personally, and I think this will vary depending on how many cars you have, how many trips you have. So for me right now, what I want to do is target all of my local renters that have rented for me in the past. So what I did just real quick before this video, and I'm not sure that this is the best way, but this is what I tried so far, is every time you have a rental, you get that email reminder from Turo. You know, you get that email of, hey, this person's booked a car, so on and so forth. And it has their name, it has what car they booked, and it has their phone number. If you haven't built up sort of a spreadsheet with this information already, this is a great time to do it. For all you people who are home and quarantine and just really practicing your social distancing, if you're looking for something to do, build a spreadsheet with all of your past customers' information so that you have a lead set, okay? So if you go into your email, and I use Gmail, I did a quick search in my email. I put reminder and then I put an area code of my local area, which for me is 949. So I simply typed in reminder 949. What that did was that pulled up one single email for every single reservation that had a customer with a 949 area code, which would signal that they are local to me. And then also it doesn't pull up every email with all the messaging and the trip was booked or modification was made. So this was the most concise way for me to get a list of every past renter who was in the area and just one notification from the entire booking that included their name, what car they booked, what dates they booked, and their phone number. So compile that list. And then from there, you can do a text messaging campaign, or you can reach out to everybody through the app if you don't have as many past renters or as many cars. So it's easy for you to go through your trip history, access everyone who has rented from you, and reach out to them. And it's just super simple, like, hey, I'm having a great deal on this car. If you need a car, these are my rates. Given what's going on, I'm offering awesome rates. Or if you have anybody that you know that needs a car, please definitely refer them to me. I'm going to make sure that they're taken care of. All of my cars are sanitized and they're clean, they're reliable, and this is just a great time to book a car if you or someone you know are in need of a car. And so you really want to drum up some business that way. In the last couple of days, I received, I think, 3 new bookings, which I was actually really even surprised to see those through because I thought it was really going to be 0. Out of the 3, 2 of them were past renters of mine. So that does tell me that there are people in my local area that still need cars who have rented cars from me in the past. Actually, no, I'm lying. I got 4 bookings. Yeah, 2 were repeat renters and 2 are new bookings. All 4 local. So local is the market right now. So you really want to localize yourself to your city. People feel safe traveling in small distances. So you want to talk to people in your area. Now, going along with the sales mode. So you want to gather your leads, you want to reach out to people, try to drum up that local business. And then with that said, another thing that you want to do is right now we have access to a lot of information. A lot of industries are talking about how this is affecting them. They're taking action, they're doing things. So what you want to do right now, what I'm really doing right now is really focusing heavily on the travel industry. I'm listening, I'm watching, and I'm researching at what hotels are doing, what airlines are doing, what Airbnb folks are doing, and I'm watching how they're adjusting their business models, right? I'm watching price points. People are joking about how cheap travel is right now and how you can go to all these places for dirt cheap. And this is literally proof that you have to be priced so low right now because that's the only market that's there. And it's in the examples of our biggest businesses here in America, our airlines, our hotels, vacations. It's all rock bottom pricing right now because it's the only way to compete and stay alive. So we want to do what the big boys are doing because that concept applies in the same exact way. Not only that, but you have to think about we're in a time where a lot of people are furloughed. They're laid off right now. They're not getting paid until they can get back into the office or they can get back into working. People in the service industry, people who are hourly, these people are going to go through a really hard time. And if anything, you should think of it as a way of helping people in our society. If you can offer them a good deal, have them come into the platform, whether they're new or repeat customers, it paints a great picture of what value this platform has to offer. That this platform is also going to adjust with what is going on. Not that, we're just all going to keep our prices high and hope that we get that one booking. It doesn't make any sense. For the 70 to 75% of you people out there that are not adjusting your listings, it's either because you don't need the bookings or you don't want them, or I don't know what you're thinking, right? But for those of us that are still trying to keep our businesses going through this time, think of it that way, that if you are offering rock bottom prices, you are serving people who need it the most. And when everything comes back around, when we get out of this and things pick back up and people are going to be making money, and I think actually we're going to get out of this and really be in a strong economy and strong marketplaces, and people are going to be spending, those very people are going to be the people that come back to you and be the repeat renters, and they will have more money to spend and they will rent from you at higher prices because you helped them out during a time of need and it helped you out. So that's kind of how I view going into this and having low prices. I mean, I have prices right now that I've never had, and I know I'm pretty competitive on pricing, but I mean, I've taken it to a whole new level even for myself. So we are in unprecedented times, and that's something to really give some thought to. Okay, so moving on to number 5. This is also a great time to take care of some stuff that you might have been procrastinating on or lagging on. And I mean, especially in terms of maintenance and repairs. I was at the BMW dealership today. I had dropped off one of my cars. Great time to do it. No excuses. Dealerships are empty. Their service departments are empty. People have canceled their appointments, but they're still open for business. This is the time. If your excuse has been you haven't had time, or like they didn't have appointments, or you don't want to wait for the car, it's gonna be out for 2 days. Literally, this is the time. I guarantee you they're gonna have your cars ready in record time. So go get those services done, go get that maintenance done, get any little repairs that you had done. Don't become complacent and give in to sort of the depressing nature of what's going on and just not do anything. This is when we need to maximize productivity and efficiency and stay on top of things. Today, this guy needs tires right here. So right after this video, I'm taking the Polaris in for tires. I'm getting all this stuff done because when the rentals do come in, I want to be ready. I don't want to have a reason why I ever have to cancel any upcoming rentals for any reason at all. All right, so number 6. I talked about this in my last video. If you really find yourself in a hard position, then you have the option of deferring your car payments, okay? But let's hope that we don't get to that point. But should we get there, that is a very, very viable option. Now, when you do call into your banks for a payment deferment, also you want to leverage this time that we're in. Oftentimes, most banks offer 1 to 2 months, but I think right now they're being lenient. So if you think you need more time for that, you have to simply ask for it. Ask for it, and I'm pretty confident that you'll get it. Some banks are doing 3 months. So there are some more options available to us that are on the regular, not available. So really think about what your situation is and what you really need, and make sure that you ask for that. All right, so the next one is, oh yes, I was at the dealership today. So let's talk about leases and new car deals that you can make. Right now, obviously, as you guys can imagine, the car buying market, absolutely dead. I mean, no one's walking into dealerships. They're not really looking for cars. And because of that, it's actually a great time to get a car. Or if you're in a lease, you can negotiate out of your lease and get into even something better. With the interest rates really at rock bottom right now, there's some great deals out there. I was just at Chevy today as well, and I believe they're doing 84 months financing at 0% APR. I mean, that's crazy. It is just crazy. And it's a great deal. So if you're in a position in a car maybe that you need to get out of, this is a great time to make that little bit of extra effort, do a little bit of research, and see what deals are out there, because I bet you anything that we'll never see deals like this again for a very, very, very long time. People are being reactive, and so these businesses are really trying to go above and beyond to offer the best deals. This is a great time. I'm actually going to be taking in one of my cars that's a lease, and I'm going to see if I can trade out of it and get into something better at a far better deal that can generate more revenue for me. And finally, as we all know, if you've been listening to the news, there is going to be an option of SBA loans and government assistance. It looks like the administration is very motivated on making sure that the American people are taken care of, and that we have options for additional cash should we need it as small businesses and even as individuals. Now, of course, my opinion, and it always remains that way, is before you ever exercise the option of borrowing money, even if it's at a very low interest rate, you always want to try to make sure that you can make that money in sales first. That should always be the first go-to, because eventually you're going to have to pay that back. You're going to pay some form of interest, and that's just not the position that you necessarily want to be. It's not the best position, but it's great that we have those options. So that's why that point about being in sales mode is by far the most important one of this whole list that I was able to put together. You want to be in that sales mode, and you want to generate that money. If you're able to do it now, you just have to think of it like you're going to be prepared for anything else that could ever come up ever again, because this is such an extreme situation. So if you can put in that effort right now and really generate something for your business, it just goes to show you what your own potential is and that you can really survive anything. So of course, sales cures all, which it really does, I guess, except for the coronavirus. But other than that, we will likely have government assistance packages taking place very soon here in the next week, which could be an option. And finally, on a final note, the Turo Summit, we got an email today saying that it is going to continue on for Thursday. They will address the state of what's going on and how it's been affecting hosts. So I look forward to hearing what they have to say about that. They did send us out a form to submit any questions that we may have for them. So one of my specific questions for them is if they're going to be offering any assistance, specifically financially, to their hosts. So hopefully I can get you guys an answer. If you guys have any burning questions that you want me to try to pass along to them, please do send them my way, and I will do my very best to get them to Turo or get them answered one way or another. So definitely send that to me in the comment section below. All right, guys, so that is sort of my game plan as to how I'm going to be approaching my business in the upcoming weeks and months. I'm gonna be working really hard. Yes, it's stressful. Yes, it's hard. If it was easy, it wouldn't be fun. But you just have to push through. You really have to have that strong mindset and just know that no matter what it ends up being, that you did everything that you possibly could have done. You exercised every option. You tried everything. That way, when that outcome does happen, you're content with it, and you're content with yourself knowing that you did whatever you could and you move forward from there. So I hope you all find this helpful, you guys. And as always, do send me your questions and comments. I am going to do my best to be as diligent as I can with bringing you guys updates in real time. So please be sure to subscribe to this channel, hit that notification bell so that you know when I post these videos. And as always, when I post, I will be on YouTube for the first 15 to 20 minutes, even longer, given what we're going through right now, answering any questions that you guys might have to the best of my ability. Thank you guys for watching. Be safe, take care of yourselves, and just hustle, grind it out. It'll eventually come to an end and we will all move forward. Take care, you guys, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.